For me, there's a simple rule in politics. Never, ever be surprised by what happens in politics.
The face of truth is open. The eyes of truth are bright. The lips of truth are ever closed. The head of truth is upright. The breast of truth stands forward. The gaze of truth is straight. Truth has neither fear nor doubt. Truth has patience to wait. The words of truth are touching. The voice of truth is deep. The law of truth is simple. All you sow, you reap. The soul of truth is flaming. The heart of truth is warm. The mind of truth is clear and firm through rain and storm. Facts are only its shadow. Truth stands above all sin. Great be the battle of life. Truth in the end shall win. The image of truth is the cross. Wisdom's message is its rod. The sign of truth is Christ, and the soul of truth is God. Life of truth is eternal. Immortal is its past. Power of truth shall endure. Truth shall hold to the last.
I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. It's a depression. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street, and there's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. We know the air is unfit to breathe, and our food is unfit to eat. We sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. They're crazy. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living room. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crying in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value.
This government has done more than just cutting grass. What this government has done in this country, no other government has done, not even Sir John Compton.
Who transitioned from sugarcane to green gold, which built the bedrock, the very foundation of this economy? Was it Sir John or Philip? Who broke the back of the plantation owners and gave our farmers the support to build this country? Was it Sir John or was it Philip? Who built the Unoa International Airport? Who built the East Coast Road? Who developed Prince Albert Basin to expand Port Castries? Who created the National Provident Fund, now the NIC? A fund Labour Party told St. Lucians not to contribute to because Sir John would steal their money. Who did it? Pierre or Sir John? Who built Point Seraphin? Who built the Pigeon Island Causeway, a project the Labour Party called a white elephant? Who built it? Who built the Rodney Bay Marina? Who delivered rural electrification to St. Lucia? Who built the feeder roads? Who built the feeder roads? Who built the Millennium Highway? Who brought education and secondary schools to all districts in this country? Who built the Grocery Highway? Who brought Hess oil to St. Lucia? Who brought sandals to St. Lucia? Who redeveloped the Castries waterfront? Who established inland? Who established the industrial estate in Beaufort? Who made Bizet, Union, Hudson, Massad industrial parks? Who created inland reception depots for banana farmers? Who built the dam? But who? I ask you, who? Who brought independence to this country of ours?
Ladies and gentlemen, Stephen talked about all of the things that Sir John has done for this country. Don't let me start, Stephen, by telling you what Sir John has done in Groseley. Sir John is the one who's responsible for joining Pigeon Point to the mainland. Sir John gave us the Rodney Bay Marina. Sir John gave us Rodney Bay. Sir John gave us the Redwood development. And there are so many things that Sir John has done in Grosley, including taking away all the migrant and the moustique in Grosley. You know, that is a man whose legacy has to be continued by the United Workers' Party. And despite the best effort of the Stephenson Kings of this world, the traitors like Stephenson King, we will not damage Sir John's legacy or erase Sir John's legacy.
The motto of St. Lucia, the land, the people, and the light. The land. The land doesn't only mean the country of St. Lucia. Let's look back at the land. I remember driving from a political meeting in Ansoray, and I was going to a political meeting in Dennery. And after I left the village of Ansoray, until I got to the village of Dennery, I don't think 1 acre of land in that area was owned by St. Lucians. It was the Roseau Valley. Then you come over the hill, you met the cul-de-sac valley to the Bardell Hill. From the Bardell you met the Dennery Valley. All of this.
Foreign owned?
Well, even they were not foreign owned, yes. They were not ours.
Not ours, yes.
Now, what has happened today? Except for house spots and things like that, land that St. Lucians themselves consciously sold to others.
Yes.
All of it is owned by St. Lucians. Isn't that an achievement?
It is very much so.
Huh? And we didn't have to do like Mugabe. We didn't shed blood. We provided, we prepared the institutions, the St. Lucia Agricultural Bank, to give people the opportunity to buy land. And they could buy land because they had a crop, a banana crop, from which they could market and pay those loans. You understand?
Yes.
So these are things, when you look back, so that's the land. The people with two secondary schools. Now they're 18 or 20. In that time, educate your people. So the land, the people, and the light, to give them the education.
Who brought class and gravitas to our politics? Sir John Compton. Hello everyone, welcome to another edition of the world's most monitored talk show. NewsSpin is on Power 97.9 FM. It's also on TuneIn as well as Radio Garden and the NewsSpin Facebook page as well as the NewsSpin YouTube channel. By the way, please like the video, share, subscribe to the YouTube channel and click the notification bell to help the channel grow. We're going up until 2 o'clock this afternoon. Amanda is here. She's already going through some of the comments in the chat room, and I'll be taking your calls in a bit at 452-2979, 452-2979. WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026, 716-2026. This comparison between the performance of Sir John Compton and Philip J. Pierre will go down in infamy as one of the comments that you can consider to be baseless. It certainly was not called for, and I'm telling you why it was not called for. Most St. Lucians, whether supporters of the SLP or the UWP, no party at all, they have one mind. They are in unity when it comes to giving Sir John Compton what is due to him. And that is, as a politician, as a developer of this country, he is peerless. You cannot compare him to any political figure in this country. Not George Charles, not Kenny Anthony, definitely not Philip J. Pierre, not Alan Chasney, not George Odlum. we are in unity on that. So I don't know why. What would cause the senior minister and MP for Castries North to make that comparison? Because clearly the foundation was set by Sir John Compton. And all the other leaders, what they have done is to add to what he has achieved. That kind of performance. At one time, we were definitely the envy of a number of Caribbean nations, including Barbados. And I don't think even Prime Minister Philip J. Pierre would agree with Stevenson King. As a matter of fact, I think he will view that comment with great suspicion. And I think he will question whether Mr. Stevenson King was being genuine. That would have caught him off guard, I believe. And you wonder why he had to go to that length. Maybe trying to please the boss. Maybe that's what. And it's not necessary at all if you are performing your duty in any position as a minister, in a particular government department, in the private sector. There is no need to brown nose. No need at all. Your superiors, your manager will judge you on your performance, and your contract will be renewed. You'll be getting compensation on the basis of your performance, not on the basis of you trying to curry favor with the boss. And I deliberately played those clips of the United Workers' Party candidate for Castries North, Stephen Favrier, followed by the PRO of the party, Leonard Spider Motut, and then the man himself, Sir John Compton, because I know, and over the weekend, this comparison between those two individuals would have been the subject of much discussion in St. Lucia and in the diaspora. We have a whole lot more to share with you during the course of our broadcast, so stand by. We take your calls right now at 452-2979, 452-2979. WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. Again, 716-2026. Let's see what somebody says there. King's statement is factually indefensible, historically ignorant, and politically opportunistic. It amounts to rewriting history to elevate a current leader without justification, and in doing so, diminishes the legacy of Sir John while overstating the achievements of Philip J. Pierre and King himself by implication. The claim deserves to be challenged, not just politely, but with rigor. That's according to a WhatsApp message. Another person says, Tim, it appears that Stevenson King may have either lost his head or trying to justify his payment for joining the SLP. We don't know if he was paid, so we cannot give credence to that claim you just made there. Somebody says there, good afternoon, Tim. I would add to Sir John's list of achievements, he took a messenger boy and made him a prime minister. Another WhatsApp message. One of these days, King will be like a fish out of the water, and he will know that his lies he is paying for. Let's take a call on the line. Good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin. You're on the air.
Yeah, good afternoon, Tim.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon to you, caller.
Tim, I saw Tim. I'm feeling so bad about that statement that Stevenson King made. You know why I am telling you that? You know, when Sir John went back to active politics, you know who was the caretaker for Castries North? Stevenson King. The person at the time, the caretaker, was Sibel Snack. I walked to that party headquarters for 3 years straight. The people that was in the party, because the party was railed down, it was a guy called Favrier, he's a deacon right now, and Gertrude George, and there was a lady called Jew, okay? In my opinion, going to that office, I feel to myself, these people must be saying I'm harassing them. Because what I did, Years before, I took a machine cleaning Activille City Gate and the other city gate. And people thought I was getting paid for that. I was not getting paid for that. Because I know I wanted to play politics by bringing in Stevenson King at the time to run the Castries North. Because the people tell me they are not satisfied with Sibel Snap. Then I went to the boulevard upstairs where Sir John have his office. And I spoke to him. I said, well, listen, I believe Mr. Stevenson King is the right person at the time, right now, to run the seat. Sir John tell me, give him some time. But before I was speaking to Steve and I was telling him, I believe you should run the seat. You know what he was telling me? He's all right as chairman of the party. Sibel is young and whatever. He tell me, give him a few months, Tim. I gave him a few months. And you know where this thing burst? On the most popular station, NewsSpin. You know who called you? See it? It's a while. It was the Golden Dragon that put out, boy, Stevenson King should step aside. He has made his time. And we all know about the Golden Dragon, you know, when he called NewsSpin and the kind of contribution that he made. Tim, I was mad at the time when the guy called you. And then praise the Lord that I got the line. And I said to you, Tim, and Golden Dragon, it was not Stevenson King at the time that wanted to go up for Castries North. It was the people. Okay, so said, so done. Tim, when Sir John won the seat, okay, he was ill. I was told that he had gone to the U.S. and stuff like that. Then I get...
Okay, caller, what you getting at? What you getting at?
Well, what Steve did there, he disrespected the man. Because even when Sir John was sick, okay, and then he passed, who replaced Sir John as Prime Minister? And to make that statement like the man never did nothing, Philip J. Pierre did more than him, and also more than Stevenson King. Stevenson King was a lazy Prime Minister. Even when he had to attend government business, he always late, and the entire nation knows that. And I believe Stevenson King should apologize to the party, apologize to the man white, and apologize to the entire nation. Even when Sir John died, the day of his burial, even weeks before. You remember all these spins with all the good things about Sir John? Father of the nation, that came from me. And we print thousands of pins, and people were buying it at $5. For Stevenson King now to come and disrespect the deceased Sir John Compton, this is out of place. And I'm calling on the Castries people in Castries North to vote out Stevenson King. And I want the numbers he will to finish his political career, because you cannot do a man, you know, you were in the same party with him. The man died, you betraying the man as he died still. Stevenson King, you need to go. And the entire Labour Party need to go. This is my contribution.
Thank you so much for sharing it with us, sir. Somebody says that via WhatsApp, Tim, let's not forget, Compton made all of us educated and not stupid. My dad got a university scholarship from this man. The only thing Pierre has done in Marshall is close the children playground. That's according to a WhatsApp message. Let's see if we have another message. It says that Tim, King is singing for his supper. He knows he's going down as the loser that he is. Bax will take some of his votes, and Stephen Fairview will give him a good licking. King, like it or not, Stephen Fairview will be the next MP for Castries North. And we'll be hearing from Mr. Marcellus Backsteed in just a moment. WhatsApp message. Somebody says, Tim, I really need King to defend his statement and tell us why he thinks Pierre is better than Sir John. 452-2979. WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. I think we have another message, and somebody says there, no audio on YouTube. Okay, if that's the case, we will try to rectify it. And another WhatsApp message, and it says, let's be real, King's reputation precedes him. He's notorious for being a bit of a suck-up. His track record as Prime Minister of St. Lucia doesn't exactly scream integrity or leadership skills. Instead, It highlights his ability to play the game and stab others in the back when it suits him. That's according to a WhatsApp message. We have a call on the line. Good afternoon. NewsSpin, you're on the air.
Tim, good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon to you, caller.
Tim, that statement from Stevenson King, whether you read or you, Tim, everybody knows that that's ludicrous and ridiculous. So are you even giving that time, Tim? Everybody knows, Tim, I was born in 1978. Everybody knows who run things from the time we got independence, even before that. So Stevenson King to say something like that, whether or not you read or yellow, it's obvious that the man is singing for his supper, Tim. Yeah, I wouldn't even give that time. We have other things to discuss. Let's move on from that. I don't waste the time on that, Tim.
You have any other thing to discuss?
No, that's it.
Okay. Thank you so much for calling. 452-2979. WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. I mean, it's an egregious statement, and it should not be ignored, caller. Talking about a man's legacy. And I wonder how the Comptons feel with regard to that unfortunate statement that was made by Mr. King last week. Let's see there. Somebody says there, Tim, I'm watching on YouTube on my TV, and audio has been there from the start. The contributor should check their device. We have a call via WhatsApp. Good afternoon. NewsSpin, you're on the air. Hello.
Good day to you, Tim.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon to you, caller.
Yes, Tim. Tim, based on what you just said there, of course, the whatever the man said, it need taking on. Tim, Richard Frederick campaigned for 5 years. All the time being fed by King. Everything Richard was exposing from the UWP party was from King.
We have no evidence to prove that, sir. We could only make the assumption, but we have no evidence to prove that.
Tim, you know it's me already. I could give you the evidence. Let me send it on your phone for you.
Okay. But even that, I'll have to verify.
Tim.
Yes, sir.
Tim. Tim King, eh? I keep saying the real snake, the definition of a snake is family. Because when a snake sheds its skin, it's still a snake. So I was saying the perfect definition of a snake is family, because when your family betray you and they snake on you, they steal your family, no matter you kick them out. You check, they steal your family. So snake don't fit friends. So I don't know, King not a snake. King worse than a snake. Yeah. And the problem is the people that voting him in, you know. You cannot tell me, guys, for so long, I want to see what Compton family is going to say, because y'all is a part of Labour. Y'all kick Shasney because of King, because of Labour. I want to hear what Janine Compton have to say and what Compton wife have to say. May you rest in peace, Father Sir John. I want to know what that lady have to say, because if you could tell me you could accept a man kicking your husband in his grave like that, you're worse than King if you cannot talk about that. That lady is worse than King, because she had done kick her husband in his back when she support the fellas to win the seat. So I don't know. King have to do what he doing, because he don't know the man, the lady turn her back on her husband, so he could do the same too. But King, don't forget, Compton not make you where you is there right now, eh? And the competition you want to put, the comparison you want to put between Pierre, you, and Conti, none of y'all cannot come close, bro. None of y'all, not even Shasney, that could come close, bro. Because what Comte have done and have left for y'all to be fight that. Comte legacy y'all fighting over there right now. In case y'all didn't know, is his legacy y'all fighting over. If it wasn't for him, y'all wouldn't be fighting politics today there. Okay? I let that rest there for now.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much for calling. Good afternoon, Amanda. Let's find out what's happening in the chat room. What are some of the comments being made in the chat room?
Good afternoon, Tim. Good afternoon, NewsSpin. I've seen a few comments here on NewsSpin. It says, who made King Prime Minister and removed the shame over his head, giving him a name and a place in politics? Sir John. Commentary reads, Tim, we need to invite Janice Compton to NML to put to bed all speculation of what the position is on everything from SK to UWP. My 2 cents. And NewsSpinner says there is no Prime Minister in St. Lucia that can even compare to our founding father. Someone says there St. Lucians have lost their history. Do we have to remind people about our history? And it's people that represent St. Lucia that forgot about its history. How would they represent us out of St. Lucia? Messier, that's too low. Commentary reads, I miss governance under this giant. Someone says, Stevenson King, that statement you made is the deadly bullet to your political career. A NewsSpinner says Compton's contributions include independence, constitutional change, major institutional development. That is the kind of foundational work that few successors can claim. PM may have projects, but they are not on top of what was already built. He did not find the system, built it from scratch. Thus, to say he has done more ignores the foundational tier versus maintenance improvements tier. It's like claiming a second generation CEO did more than the founder who built the company from scratch. Another commentary reads, Messieurs, you all will make people laugh at us, we? What kind of politics is that? If with 15 seats, you all have to politics like that. If SLP wins all 17 seats, they will remove a fellow shirt on not only the poor, but a movement to disrespect anybody that doesn't support SLP. St. Lucian's, watch your bread. Someone says there in politics, there must be someone that will have to touch their toes for someone else. And we have two so-called independent candidates that are doing just that. Our commentary reads, as a matter of fact, St. Lucia has regressed under this SLP administration.
Thank you so much, Amanda, for that update. Let's see if we have a call via WhatsApp. Good afternoon to you. NewsSpin, you're on the air.
Tim. Yes, Tim. Good afternoon to you and your viewers.
Good afternoon to you, caller.
My brother, I've been looking at I'm from America, and I've been looking at your program, Tim. And to me, the definition of what King said is the difference between two individuals. John Compton would have never paid no sum of money because John Compton have integrity. Vis-a-vis the man that paid for him to cross the floor.
Caller, we must have evidence, you know. All right, we don't have evidence of... No, hold on, caller, hold on. That is the kind of thing you can say on the sidewalk in New York, where you are, wherever you are in the States. That is the kind of thing. That's the kind of thing people can say when they are in a watering hole in Denry and Surrey and so on. But you cannot make those kind of statements on NewsSpin, sir. Okay, we can't prove it. Sir. We don't say it.
Okay, okay, yes, Tim.
Yes, sir.
But okay. But John Compton would have never allowed anybody to do what this guy did. Never. So I could understand why this guy is touting towards Philip JP. I could understand that. He's trying to gain favor. He's trying to gain some kind of political mileage. But at the end of the day, this guy have to understand that the people of St. Lucia is not as ignorant as they were before. We are a little bit more savvy, and every political cycle, we get a little bit smarter. I can guarantee you that he's going to pay for it at the poll. Tim, thank you very much, man.
All right, sir. Thank you so much for calling. As we take some more of your calls, once again, this is NewsSpin. We have another call via WhatsApp. Good afternoon, you're on the air.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon to you, caller.
Yeah, this makes me understand this whole John Compton story going on here now. Makes me understand the hypocrisy of when you're dead. That's when people realize your worth and give you praises. Over 30,000 St. Lucians were made to call this man Jabla. They throw things at him and all kind of things like that. That is to show how people were taught to go against somebody like this. Today, he is the best thing because he's dead. Best thing that ever happened to St. Lucia. That is to show how the Labour Party can twist people's minds the wrong way. And I am hoping if this majority of people that are shouting praises to Compton on his death, that these people will understand these policies that Compton had is what UWP is following, that they should know that this present regime must be out of office, and let's continue with Compton's style of doing it. I thank you.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much. 4522979, your WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. Again, 716-2026. Let me see if I could go through a WhatsApp message. In the meantime, we will see if we have a call on the landline. Please bear with me. We're just trying to see if we can access as many of your messages as possible. Okay, let's see there. What message you have sent to me via WhatsApp. And somebody says there, Tim, do you realize that the only reason King became Prime Minister was when he inherited the position from Sir John, when he passed away. King alone could not win the support of the people. He was unable to stand as party leader to bring the party to victory. Continues, he was made Prime Minister by the toils and subsequent passing of Sir John, the only time he enjoyed this title and privilege. So his statement shows how ungrateful he is. Shame on you. That's according to a WhatsApp message. Another message to go through. Sir John, the father of the nation, was the best thing that ever happened to this country of St. Lucia. May his legacy go on, and the people of St. Lucia need to vote the SLP out. That's according to a WhatsApp message. We have a call via WhatsApp. Good afternoon, you're on the air. Hello.
Good afternoon, Mr. Tim.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon to you, caller. Good afternoon.
So in all that merely about King and
hello,
betrayal of the United Workers' Party, yes?
Yes, I'm listening to you. Go ahead.
Kind of want to know, if people are saying that Philip J. Pierre didn't ask King to make a statement like that and he would not agree with King. When election campaign is in full swing, will the Blue Wave have their own campaign, or would Philip J. Pierre accept King on his platform to speak what King spoke there? What is your opinion, Mr. King? Mr. Tim?
No, but he is already part of the St. Lucia Labour Party campaign. He has already appeared on the platform of the St. Lucia Labour Party. He has not spoken on their platform. Well, to a certain extent, he has spoken on it. But I think basically you have an accommodation taking place there between King and the St. Lucia Labour Party, and also Richard Frederick and the SLP. They are one of the same. There's nothing like independent candidates.
So in other words, what you are concluding there, in summary, is that Philip J. Pierre has accepted what King said, and that Philip J. Pierre feels that he has done more for this country than John Compton.
No. That's what I'm saying, because Philip J. Pierre, has not reacted to that statement. Until he reacts, I am not in a position to make that assumption, sir.
Okay, so according to the census there, according to what everybody is saying there, Tim, that they totally disagree with what King is saying there, and saying that Philip J. Pierre himself has not reacted to that, neither positively nor negatively, which I think he more bends towards King on what King said.
I think
would you say to the people,
if the Prime Minister is honest and he internalizes that statement, he has to conclude that Mr. King was wrong. You can't take credit for what has been done in St. Lucia from the infancy of the country and what you are now trying to build on. Okay, that is the Prime Minister, Prime Minister Pierre. He cannot take credit for all those things that the Prime Minister has achieved.
Pierre knows that.
He ought to
Pierre
know that.
knows that. Even the ferocious Richard Frederick knows that, because he likes to name these places, Rodney Bay and Marigot and all the posh places that Compton built. He knows that what Stephenson King saying there. And so I'm saying, I'm not asking you for your opinion on that one. This is my opinion. That even Labour Party people, plus the flow. By the way, when Labour Party wins, call it say is more flambeau that vote for them. Okay? So now I am saying to the people, the voters of St. Lucia, go out there on election day whenever it's called and vote out this type of thinking from the Labour Party, this type of things that the Labour Party is saying. That is my opinion. Thank you, Kim.
All right, and thank you so much for sharing it with us. Let's take another call. Good afternoon. This is NewsSpin. You're on the air. Hello.
Tim.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon to you, caller.
I have written so much about Compton and those leading people you were discussing there today that it would be remiss if I said nothing at all. Would you agree?
I agree wholeheartedly.
I mean, history, and Derek Alcott did me a great compliment, I have to say. Says me, Rick, you and I won't be around, but there will come a time when it is your books and your articles that will be St. Lucia's contemporary history, political and otherwise, because you have the pictures, you have the times, you have the dates, and all of those people were in the prime of their time when you wrote what you wrote. That is the highest compliment anybody could have paid me, and coming from Derek Walcott, you know, for me, that's almost scripture. You know me and Derek Walcott.
Yes.
So that's why I didn't really want to get involved in this, really, but I have no choice but to get involved in it. Number one, let's do a little analysis. King, I don't have to go into his past history, it's pretty well known. So I'm going to take it from more or less recent times. On Monday, I think it was, at the briefing, press briefing.
Yes.
If I'm wrong, correct me. It was at that briefing that Philip Pierce said he knew absolutely nothing about this deal about which King had spoken in detail on a show. Am I correct?
Yes, you're correct.
That was on the Monday, right?
Yes.
And remember the kind of detail King gave. King said the guy visited the site, they had discussions. I think what he said was what they were right now doing is due diligence.
Yeah.
And so, which is when you analyze the statement itself, it is worthy of a lot more scrutiny than we have given it. You know, it's that statement that King made on the television Showdown Report. It requires a lot more scrutiny and than we have so far given it. But that's what we do. We just run past and you know, etc. So, in effect, Philip Pierce said King was a liar.
No. I don't think he would have reached that conclusion.
Let me try to do it better.
No. Hold on. You don't have to, Rick. What in effect the Prime Minister was saying that this so-called deal has not been cemented.
Yes,
you understand?
All right, I'll go along with that.
It has not been cemented. So he does not know about any such deal.
No, not cemented. He said, I know nothing about it.
I'm paraphrasing because what he said.
Yeah, but it's not a matter of cemented.
Mm-hmm.
He says, I know nothing about nothing. There's nothing to cement. I know nothing about it. He said that has never been discussed in any cabinet unless it was a different cabinet. So for all intents and purposes, the Prime Minister said, I know nothing about it. Effectively, it doesn't exist as far as I know.
Well, the impression I got is that he was saying that there's been no deal formally, because there's nothing in writing, there's nothing that's been formalized. But anyway, I've checked it out. But in its essence, he's saying we do not have a deal.
It certainly wasn't discussed in my cabinet.
Yes.
The Prime Minister made some very strong statements on that deal. Very strong. And it is, we are just proving with our back and forth now that this needs further analysis for the information of the people, so that when we talk from an informed perspective. Very, very important. Okay? Now, I am going to say, from my perspective, I'll take the burden off you. The Prime Minister was saying, whatever impression King left there, that this thing was, the man actually came, he was here. Imagine that the entrepreneur would have come here and seen only King and not met with the Prime Minister about a deal such as the guy discussed. That sounds very weird. But he said that. The guy came here. They went to the site. All they were doing right now to finalize was due diligence on the guy. That's basically, and I listened very carefully to that. And in reference to that, the Prime Minister said, not in my cabinet, maybe another cabinet. I know nothing about this, which further underscores not in my cabinet. So people are free to make what they want of that. For me, it is enough that I got the impression from what King said that the cabinet had determined on the development, and it's turning out the Prime Minister is saying, not in my cabinet. That hasn't happened yet. So whatever word you want to call that for. I think.
Hold on, Rick. I also think what should have been done is that there should have been follow-up questions after the Prime Minister made that statement, the Prime Minister should have, the reporter should have asked certain questions as follow-up to really get to the bottom of this particular issue. Yes, Mr. Prime Minister, are you suggesting there's not a deal that has been really formalized and cemented, or are you saying that you had discussions already with the proposed developer or investor?
And what we have to deal with is what happened. The minister left the impression that all that remained was due diligence. That's the impression the minister left. So without going to go and ask the Prime Minister.
No. If the minister is saying that, then you get the opportunity, you ought to clarify it with the Prime Minister.
No,
if you're gonna ask him questions about that particular project, there are a number of other issues that you need to try to confirm.
But he announced it. And normally, when projects are in the pipeline and all that, you don't go and offer those kind of details that King offered on that show.
You're correct on this.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
And that is why the Prime Minister doesn't live on a different planet. He must have heard about. You think the Prime Minister didn't hear about that program? You think it's nobody asked
that we're making? No, we're making the assumption, Rick. We are making the assumption.
Look, I mean, it's not an assumption. It is how cabinet and whatever, how government works. I'm talking about there. If the Prime Minister knows absolutely nothing of what King spoke on the radio, neither would the other ministers know as well. And I'm sure it stands to reason. It's reasonable to assume somebody talked to somebody after the King show. That's reasonable.
Yeah, it's reasonable.
To do otherwise would be unreasonable. So, from my perspective, I think whatever may have gone on, I think King was now trying to make up, because it is embarrassing to a Prime Minister. Let's get to that angle as well. It is embarrassing to a Prime Minister that his Minister of Infrastructure will go into detail on a development that involves the people of La Clery, that may even involve acquiring people's property, a whole load of things. And for the Prime Minister to openly say, I know, the Prime Minister is not a total fool. The Prime Minister could have said, I don't want to comment on this project right now. Mr. King, the minister is going through things, etc. He could have done all those kind of things, including saying it's not your business. He could have done everything, but he particularly said, I know nothing. I had the words, nothing about this. It has never been discussed in my cabinet, maybe another cabinet. This is telling you the Prime Minister was more than likely quite embarrassed to have to say those kind of things in the circumstances, all because of King. Is that reasonable?
It is. Somebody's saying, you see, what I'm saying is that, and I've made several points on this. Somebody's saying, Tim, what juice you drank? I didn't drink any juice. It's just that I'm saying, what I'm saying is, somebody said I drank a particular juice in the chat room.
I agree with him.
No, I didn't drink any juice. But listen, Rick. You see, as a journalist, you have to be, and you know that, you have to be as thorough as possible. So if the Prime Minister is saying maybe a different cabinet, then you have to point to the Prime Minister and tell him, but your minister, senior minister, made that particular point. Are you saying categorically that you are not privy to that kind of information, that kind of project that is being embarked upon?
And if I were the Prime Minister and a reporter spoke like that to me, I would treat that reporter like Trump. I would ask him to respect himself, because what Philip Pierce said was clear as day. I don't care what the
I disagree with you on that. I disagree.
Yeah, well, okay, maybe the juice. The Prime Minister.
Well, maybe we both had that juice. Maybe we both had that juice.
Maybe. But I'm sure the people are listening and they're very interested in this. The Prime Minister said, I know nothing of this, and that wasn't enough. He said, if that was ever discussed in any cabinet, it wasn't my cabinet. Perhaps it was in another cabinet. What more can you say to that? The Prime Minister said, I don't know anything about that. And he could have chosen a whole bunch of ambivalent answers if he wanted. He could even have stretched it to that's none of your business if he wanted to. So it is clear that the Prime Minister was unaware, or by the time that the thing came around, was embarrassed. Perhaps he hoped no question would come on it. But I don't think the Prime Minister must have felt good that his minister was giving such detail, and he was forced as Prime Minister, boss, where the buck stops, to tell the reporter, I know nothing about this. I never heard about this. It's not discussed in my cabinet. So that is my view. And I don't think it's all that unreasonable. It is also not unreasonable to think that King now wants to, and that's the only way I can do it, want to kiss ass to Pierre for his boo-boo, or for embarrassing him. And I want to make the point also, Philip Pierre himself has never compared himself with John Compton. He has never done so. So if King wants to do that, for a lot of reasons, King has to answer questions to the people, especially the United Workers' Party people. He has a lot to answer to them. And there may be others who are not in the United Workers' Party who would wonder, why would King put a story that embarrasses the Prime Minister and then come out and make, because, you know, he didn't say this government that I'm a member of right now has been the best government in St. Lucia, or even the best government I worked with. He didn't mention Kenya Anthony. He didn't mention Alan Chastney. He didn't mention Vaughan West. He didn't mention Pilgrim, but he mentioned John Compton. So, what was the point in doing that? Especially when John Compton, there was a big foundation thing coming up 2 days later. You know, the Compton Foundation,
yes,
a big
yeah.
deal.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And to say that on the eve of that foundation, King knows why he said what he said. King is not an inexperienced guy. This guy has been a minister for yonks, has been a prime minister, has been in every debate, every argument. I just believe King went overboard in his fulsome praise. And, you know, to be quite candid,
I also believe, Rick, over the weekend you spoke to some people, some of the key players, and you have certain information at your disposal. And then you are now calling and pretending to make an assumption, but when you have certain facts pertaining to that particular issue. That's my feeling.
No. I assure you.
No,
I assure you, I have no facts.
No, I think it's reasonable for anybody to assume that. You would have thought about it. This thing happened last Wednesday. Close to a week now, you would have, I'm sure, behind the scenes spoken to somebody.
But I started off by telling you, Tim, remember, I started off by telling you I did not want to comment on this. And that I also gave you the reason why I feel I must. But there's no information I have now that was not there before. I knew last week that there was a foundation thing coming up on the Friday night. I knew that. I also watched the Monday Dawn meeting. I also listened to clips of what King said on Andre's show and what Pierre said. No, I don't have any information. What I am doing there is a clinical analysis, because a lot of talk has gone on between Friday, whatever it was. He said it made his
Wednesday.
Now.
Mm-hmm.
And now, and I'm seeing how people are going left, right, and center. And I told you, I know the people very, very well. What is very, very interesting that your chat room is asking that. How will that affect whatever relationship King has with the surviving Comptons at election time?
Yeah.
And the answer to that is, don't forget, Lady Janice surprisingly supported him last election, which was an amazement to me. And I cannot understand why he would now spit yet again on her husband's image 2 days before they were marking the foundation, marking his death, and so on, so on, so on. A high moment for him to do that. King alone knows why he has said those things, his behavior patterns, etc. I don't think anybody knows. But I will say to you that the Prime Minister had never, that's not a defense, it's a fact. The Prime Minister has never compared himself to Compton, and I will presume It's because he's not as stupid as people think. Because there are a number of things Compton has, like you and I have as well, in our lives, that are not exactly exemplary or laudatory, etc. Pip would like, I think, to be criticized based on his own performance. And in any event, Shakespeare said comparisons are odorous. Comparisons are wrong, they stink. You cannot compare Muhammad Ali in his
Mike
prime
Tyson
with Tyson in his prime. That is stupid. He was his champion in his time. Close the book on that. Tyson was a champion in his time. Close the book on that. And King knows that. But King is not naive. Where you might give another minister a break, like Jeremiah or one of these guys, even Dominic, one of these guys, basically knew. King has been in this business since he was, 19, or 20. I think that he probably is apart from maybe Pip, he's the longest serving MP, and he has served in almost every possible role, and knows all the diplomacy. He knows personal things on people. Let's not forget, we're not just talking to a guy who came in there yesterday. So I think Tim was very calculating. I also will repeat that I don't think that the Pip I know, would necessarily want to compare himself with Compton, and not necessarily for good reasons. He may want not to be seen as another Compton, because he may be thinking of certain pimples on Compton's record that he doesn't want to be compared with. I don't want to go into any of that. I'm just saying to you, it is stupid to make those kind of comparisons and to mention only one name unless you have some motivation. And that is what we should be digging up. And why did King do that? And King should be asked questions, not Pip. It's King who should be asking the questions. It'll be interesting now to see if, despite all of that, because remember, at the time of Compton's death, Mrs. Compton wouldn't even have King near the casket while other prime ministers were eulogizing King. She also stated over and over what a betrayer he was to her husband in death, before death, and in between. All the things are on the record, and you, Tim, know them very, very well. St. Lucian should read a little more and try to recall a little more. So it'll be very interesting now that King was around when in the boulevard when the nastiness was thrown on Compton and Edward. Yeah, he was there, He was in the UWP then,
Okay.
Don't forget that. So there's a lot of history. What would be interesting to know is if the Comptons hate Alan Shatner so much that they would even, despite everything King has said about them, that they would support him again. That, for me, is very, very interesting.
Okay, Rick. Thank you so much for calling. We have another call. Good afternoon. This is NewsSpin. You're on the air. Hello.
Yes, good afternoon. How
yes,
are you?
I am okay. How about you?
I am good. I have a different view to what Stephenson King said.
Mm-hmm.
Because let's look at his exact words. Stephenson King did not say that Philip J. Pierre, like Rick said, is the best prime minister. He didn't say he was the greatest or anything of that said. He said specifically what this administration has done, no other prime minister has ever done, including Compton. To me, that says that Philip J. Pierre has done irreparable damage to the country. Irreparable damage that other prime ministers who were there longer than him, in office longer than him, never did. And when you look at Philip J. Pierre's record, there has been more talk of corruption.
I don't think that's what Mr. King was saying. Obviously, come on. I don't think that's what.
That's my view. I'm saying that's my view.
But that's not
my view.
Yeah, but that's not what he was saying. That's not what he was saying. Because
that's not what he wanted to portray.
He was talking about the performance.
Definitely, that is not what he wanted to portray.
Mm-hmm.
But in my view, when I look at it and I assess what he said, I see that Philip J. Pierre has presided over more alleged corruption than any other prime minister, including Sir John Compton. He has wasted more public funds than any other prime minister, including Sir John Compton in his 30 years. I see that I mean, let's be honest. Philip J. Pierre has, for example, let's take the Millennium Highway. How long did it take John Compton to build that highway with, the tunnels and everything? What, 3 years?
Maybe close.
How long has it
maybe
taken?
Close to 5. Close to 5 years also.
Yes, but how long? It's taking 6 years just for them to resurface the road. Our cost of living is higher than it has ever been. The price of fuel is higher. So I don't see anything commendable in what Stephenson King said, in my view. And I'm not the only one who takes that view. So I don't think people should give Stephenson King the time of day. I know you said that it is a statement that touched a lot of people. It did.
Yeah.
It was the worst thing that Stephenson King, the worst betrayal that Stephenson King has done to St. Lucia to date. For a man who has been there, who was there for Sir John, during Sir John, a man who I personally thought was an upstanding member of society and somebody to look up to say that. I looked at this man as a role model. To me, it is a personal blow, and it is the worst betrayal that Stephenson King has ever done to this country. And trust me, the people of Castries North, they will deal with Mr. King. I bet you a lot of them are sharpening their ballot, their fingers as we speak, so that they can get to the ballot box and teach him respect. Timothy, also, I sent you a message earlier. Did you get a chance to peruse it?
Yes, I saw the message. Yeah, but go ahead.
Yes. So I have not spoken, ever since I called your show and spoke about this incident, I have not really.
By the way, let me identify you. This is Miss Eldris Charles, independent reporter. Go ahead.
Right. People keep saying independent reporter. That's not what I said, you know.
What's your designation?
I'm not an independent reporter.
What's your designation?
I am a reporter. I work at Fire FM.
Okay.
So the independent came from my personal news page, which is Independent News Network, which is what I said.
All right.
Right. But people keep mistaking that. So ever since this incident happened 2 months ago.
Between yourself and the Deputy Prime Minister.
And the Deputy Prime Minister. And let's be clear, I was simply standing there. I had spoken to Minister Emma Hippolyte, and I was simply standing there awaiting the conclusion of the Prime Minister's interview in the doorway so that I could leave the building and get my camera person and come back. And the Deputy Prime Minister approached me. I honestly didn't realize he was in the building. I didn't see where he came from. And he assaulted me verbally and physically. Now, I went to the police, which is what law-abiding citizens do when these situations arise. There's been so much talk in the public sphere. I've been called a liar. I've been called an opportunist. Just last evening, somebody took it upon themselves to come and on social media and call me a money-hungry, and I will not use the other words because this is, of course, public broadcasting. But you get the gist of it, Timothy.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel, before I talk about how I feel, I really need to thank certain individuals, a lot of them, who, and I know they listen to your show religiously, who offered me support and who stood by me in all of this. And I want to say a heartfelt thank you. These individuals know themselves. Also, I want to say that the matter, there's been a development in the matter. Mr. Hilaire has been officially charged via summons to appear as a defendant. I myself have received a summons to appear as a witness in a case of unlawful assault. So for those of you who thought that this matter will never go forward, there is a development, and this clearly shows that I did not make a false claim. I did not lie on the minister. I went to the police and I gave a statement, and the matter was thoroughly investigated. And based on what the police discovered in their investigation, a charge has been preferred. I don't.
And you are set. The matter is scheduled for when?
December 4th.
December the 4th. Okay. Mm-hmm.
Yes, we're scheduled to appear in the First District Court on the Thursday, the 4th of December, and hopefully, it is not one of these cases where there are so many delays, and you know how it is, Tim. Every time there's a adjournment and adjournment and adjournment, I really, really need this thing to be over and done with, because the cyberbullying needs to stop. The being stopped in the street and accused of things that I have never done. And the worst part is people who actually know me and know that I would never do something like that, that I'm a person of integrity, would question me, family members, everybody. Why would you do something like that? And the thing is, Tim, could you imagine that I am the bad guy for standing up for my rights? I am the bad guy. I am the one who did something wrong. Nobody is saying that the minister should not have done this, the minister overstepped, the minister, this conduct is unbecoming, nothing. But I am the bad guy for going to the police. Is that what we have become as a society? Really? And somebody reminded me today that somebody made a statement, that is the price, sort of the price you pay for being a journalist. And they were talking about when you were called, was it a terrorist, a media terrorist you were called?
Yeah, it is suggested I was practicing
By the
media
former Prime
terrorism.
Minister?
Yes, yeah.
How did that go though, Tim? Did you suffer all of this backlash and people meeting you in the street and insulting you and casting aspersions on your character? Was it like that for you?
Up to now, I'm feeling the effects. I'm a lot mature now in the business, and when people describe me as a media terrorist, I really do not take it personal, and it does not have any kind of impact on me. But politicians know what they're doing when they want to attach a particular label to you. What they're doing is painting you in a particular light so that their supporters in particular will buy in to whatever label that they have attached to you. So, it goes with the territory. It also has to make you a tough individual, to be steadfast, to go about doing your work, to be as diligent as possible, to also be fair as you go along. But it ought not to influence you, not to break you down to the point that you want to capitulate or you want to give up. It should serve as an impetus for you to continue to move forward.
I can assure you, Timothy, everything that he has done, going to the media, going to the news and saying all of these things about me and trying to paint me in that light, it has only strengthened my resolve in my pursuit of justice. If he felt that he was going to scare away, what he did was make me more determined to ensure that no other reporter or journalist or whatever, because I'm hearing now that I am not a reporter, I am not a journalist, I am getting so many labels, but it has strengthened my resolve that no other media personality must ever suffer that kind of treatment at the hands of any politician. Okay? What happened to Lisa? What happened to you? What is now happening to me? As if me going through all of this is going to stop it from happening to anybody else down the line, I will gladly do it. And if it comes to do it again, there's nothing I would do differently. But I just needed people to know, because a lot of people were speculating about this. A lot of people were saying that this is going to be pushed under the table. And I really want to thank the members of the Royal St. Lucia Police Force, because I never had any doubt in my mind that the members, even if the police officers now are getting a bad rap, but I want to be the first to publicly acknowledge that despite what we've been hearing about the members of the Royal St. Lucia Police Force, there are caring, dedicated individuals who believe in justice, who don't just put on the uniform for a paycheck. There are individuals who, when they wake up in the morning and they put on that uniform, they are going out to serve the public and to ensure public safety. And I feel that the members of the Royal St. Lucia Police Force, they are not recognized enough for the work that they do. So let me be the first person. Because Tim, the investigating officer, actually came off sick leave to investigate this case and had to go back. I guess I don't know if he fell sick after or whatever, but that is commendable and that shows dedication. So I think I want to thank these officers even more for doing what they did.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for calling.
That is my contribution. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much for sharing it with us. Just so there from reporter Miss Eldris Charles. This is the most monitored talk show in the world. Wasco wishes to inform the public of planned maintenance on its raw water pipeline on Tuesday, November the 4th, 2025. During this period, water pressure and supply to customers from Millet to Cap Estate will be affected. Upon completion of these scheduled works, residents at higher elevations and at the end of the distribution line may experience additional delays as the network stabilizes. The public is therefore strongly advised to collect and conserve water where possible. Wasco apologizes to its valued customers for any inconvenience caused as they work towards infrastructure resilience and restoration of regular water supply. Look out for updates on Wasco's website and social media platforms. Back in just a bit.
KFC, yo, we back with the vibe. Strips and dip combo, flavor that rise. 3 crispy strips, fries on the side. 16-ounce drink, sauce for the ride. Order for 25, deal so nice. Good and crunchy, can't think twice. Barbecue, honey, mustard ranch if you wish. Dip it, dunk it, finger licking bliss. KFC, brand new flavor. Set the mood, strips and dip is back. Finger licking good.
Lazarus's Funeral Home is here for you. Lazarus's Private Cemetery offers a peaceful resting place for your loved ones. With tranquil settings, visitation, and reflection, we believe in the compassionate care of all our departed loved ones. Lazarus's Private Cemetery, let us help you create a final resting place. Make it special. Make it Lazarus's Funeral Home, your friend in a time of need. Payment plans are available for tombs. Call us in Vidbuta at 452-7491 or in New Dock Road, VA4, 454-6555.
Are you ready? Get set. Let's go green with Blue Select. No more paper, no more mess. Easy billing, no stress. Use my account to pay online. Pay your bill at any time. Get the stress off your mind. No more standing in line.
Visit LuCelect.com today and sign up to my account to pay your bill. Request a temporary or new connection or switch an account to your tenant's name. Do it all online.
Personal, paperless. Use the virtual service desk. Are you ready? Get set. Let's go green with Blue Select.
Chronic back pain, arthritis, spinal injuries, nerve disorders, even painful cramps. These conditions affect daily life, but you don't have to live with pain. Every day matters when it comes to your health. At La Clinique du Corps, we provide fast, accurate diagnosis with advanced GE-certified MRI technology and internationally recognized specialists. Our focus is safe, effective treatment that restores mobility, relieves pain, and gives you back your quality of life. Call 451-6559 today. 451-6559. La Clinique du Corps, because time is vital in health.
At
First National Bank, we believe being first means putting you first. Your first home, we've got the mortgage. Starting your first business, count on our commercial loans. Dreaming of your first car? Drive it home today. Heading to college? Let's fund that first big step with a student loan. No matter the milestone, make First National Bank your first choice for all your loan needs. First in service, first in trust, first for you. Call us at 455-7000 or visit your nearest First National Bank branch today so we can help put you first. First National Bank, here for you.
It's coming. The brunch of the century. Welcome to Sunburnt. It's coming. Sunburnt. Sunburnt.
At Caribbean Pastuche Limited, we offer high-quality products from Martinique, and our ready mix is made with casting sand, not regular pumice. Compared to regular pumice, casting sand saves you in your cement use. At Caribbean Pastuche Limited, our materials come from porcelain stones, which is used as an additive in creating cement. Caribbean Pastuche Limited is located in Bexar, behind Essential Hardware. Give us a call at 489-0074. We're open Monday to Saturday from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. and Sundays 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Caribbean Pastuche Limited. Quality construction, our priority.
It's in the feeling in our we talk. It's in the meaning in our spark. It is the thing that sets us apart. Who we are. Cause the rhythm of life keeps pumping. Together going strong. No matter what, we keep things flowing. For we people, we will go all in. Our hands up in the sky. Celebrating. Come let your rhythm flow.
It's the most monitored talk show in the world. It is called NewsSpin. We continue with your calls and your WhatsApp messages. Let us hear now from the independent candidate for Castries North. He is Marcellus Bax-Steed.
You had an opportunity to tell the people of Mondidor that you would make, or you could make the Mondidor lands, the Walcott lands that are now crown lands in Mondidor, right? The Walcott lands are crown lands now, thanks to Stanley Felix that purchased them. The Mondidor lands that people have been renting for years and years and years, it belongs to the crown. You had an opportunity last Wednesday to tell people you're going to do something for them in Mondidor, an area that you grew up in, an area that you came out of when John Compton took you as a messenger, and Girodi, they took you and they embraced you. You came out of Mondidor. You had that opportunity to tell the people of Mondidor, after all these years, a home son, I'm home, and I will help you get your land. But instead, you've been weaponizing that land. You've been weaponizing the STEP program, right? And you had an opportunity to do that. You stand there and you talk about John Compton and Philip Pierre and who is the better prime minister, and you stab the people of the United Workers' Party in the back again, talking about John Compton. John Compton did the foundation. He had no blueprint. And instead of using that, you stood up and you took advantage. Political laziness. My name is Marcellus Steed. I'm an independent candidate. I'm an independent candidate for Castries North. And I will promise the people of Mondidor, they will get a fight. They will get a fight from me to make sure that the national policy that the Labour Party has set will either translate locally, or if the government chooses to change, I will deal with the United Workers' Party and their leadership if they do not want to do the right thing for the Mondidor people. But I promise you, that is a promise to the people of Mondidor. If you vote independent Marcellus Steed, I will fight to give you the crown lands, which is rightfully yours and your children in the next elections.
Independent candidate for Castries North, Mr. Marcellus Backsteed. Amanda, good afternoon to you again. Let's find out what is happening in the chat room.
And Tim, someone says their PJP will be in court on December 4th to ensure that justice will be served. A few comments I missed earlier. NewsSpinner says here what the T-Boutique programs that SLP has done to secure votes is what he calls so much more. Shake my head, that man is so daft. Another comment here reads, the things a man will do for acceptance, shame on Mr. King. He continues to display deceitfulness and is shameless about it. A comment here reads, precisely put all of these other prime ministers together, they still cannot come anywhere close to Sir John, to what Sir John has done, and more so the type of statesman that he was. Someone says this is very sad. The downward spiral politics has taken when it appears that people are no longer interested in or outrageous by the lack thereof of integrity, honesty, loyalty, and pride. Wow, what the desire for power does to people, the level that they will sink. Where is the awareness of God in all of this? We leave everything here and none of us knows the hour when it will be our last breath. We are not in control. And NewsSpinner says, I'm giving Pierre 1 month for him to repeat what King said about him being better than Sir John. Pierre must be feeling himself right now, so look out on the campaign trail to hear this crap coming out of Pierre's mouth. It was said that I've done more than John Compton. Commentary reads, I suspect someone else is the real prime minister behind the scenes. There is no way a prime minister can be so clueless about all the things happening in a country he leads. NewsSpinner says, then again, Rick, PJP has said that he is unaware of several things, so we do not know what to believe. This is sad when you cannot trust what the prime minister says. Commentary says, longest serving and what can he show for it? We need to be real and stop avoiding the elephant in the room. And NewsSpinner says, Stevenson King knows Sir John Compton's legacy better than most. He served under Compton. He rose through the UWP ranks during the Compton era. For him to now suggest that Pierre, a man barely 4 years into his first term, has eclipsed the founder of the nation is pure political posturing. King is no longer with the UWP. He crossed the floor and aligned himself with the SLP government. That means he has a vested interest in flattering his new political hosts to maintain relevance. It's the same old story in Caribbean politics. When loyalty shifts, memory suddenly fades. So this statement isn't about facts, it's about political survival. A few comments here via YouTube. Someone says there, so what about the docks in VA4 and the NIC building in VA4? Someone says they're the land, the people, the lights. Small-minded people were laughing when they heard the LPL. Someone says their team, they haven't even added, they have only maintained. If they had added to what Sir John has built, we would have been better. Someone says their king is desperately trying to commit political suicide at this point in the race. Commentary via YouTube, it says, who facilitated the Castries City Council to establish electricity in St. Lucia by inviting investment from the Commonwealth Development Corporation to fund electricity on the island? Sir John Compton. Someone says there, even after you have left this world, we salute you and thank you for all what you have done for St. Lucia and its people. And the commentary says, Sir John, UWP developed our harbour to be one of the finest in the West Indies as our finest national treasure, and Labour gave it to GPH.